There's increased evidence that our biosignals as well as neurosignals are capable of generating predictions based on regulatories of our environment. We've already talked about some of these biosignals, such as the heart rate, but today we're going to talk about a new study that came out in a preprint that includes and suggests and studies the traveling brainwaves frequencies, more specifically when it comes to alpha and high gamma waves frequency. Let's first talk about what traveling brainwaves mean. When we say specifically traveling brainwaves, in the scientific world, we mean that these are brainwave frequencies that fly or travel between different regions. Whereas a stationary brainwaves frequency are the brainwaves that are located in one specific neural network. They do not travel between regions. These traveling brainwaves are the one to appear carrying information that goes from one region to another. It appears that there is a vector of information carried by these traveling waves that include variants such as time, when the traveling waves happen, the direction of the traveling waves, and of course the frequencies. In some magical way, brain understand these different information within these vectors. It's also clearly shown in evidence that the brain creates an internal model of the world based on prior sensory information and learning, and as a result, these models helps it to predict future outcomes. These models are represented at the higher order level of our cortex hierarchy, and the predictive information that they generate is being transmitted from these higher order levels to the lower order levels. These predictive cues also appear to influence our behavior as well as our perception. And the neural oscillation, aka the brainwaves, appear to be influencing the signal of the predictions as well as the errors that we make in predicting. Now the question is, how do these predictions emerge in the brain during different stages of our interactions with our environment? During the early stages of the learning process, these internal models that generate predictions are quite weak. However, over time, and as we're exposed more and more to our environment and learn different cues, it appears that the internal model within the brain gets updated based on the error in predictions, and as a result, the internal model of generating predictions, especially the right and correct predictions, increases and becomes stronger and stronger. One of the results of this study showed that strong predictions appear to correlate with the alpha brainwaves frequencies, who are the traveling waves going from anterior to posterior. In other words, alpha waves traveling from the front of the brain to back of the brain. They also noticed increased gamma waves, especially high gamma waves, somewhere between 50 to 200 hertz, where the predictions failed. Another observation of this study was that during these predictive behavioral tasks, the areas that were mostly active were frontal lobe and temporal lobe, where the frontal lobe appears to be lit up first, and then the temporal lobes get lit up, where alpha brainwave frequency appear to modulate the high gamma brain frequencies when it comes to these error in prediction, where predictive cues activate the frontal lobe with high gamma brainwave frequency, which then initiate the alpha traveling waves frequencies going from frontal to temporal lobe, who carry this predictive information. Specific brain regions also appear to carry this predictive information. One of them is hippocampus. The other regions are the sensory cortex, as well as the frontal lobe. To sum up, it appears that these alpha traveling waves travel from the front of the brain to the back of the brain during the prediction. Whereas when it's time to learn from the errors, to update the models, these traveling waves go from back to the front. It also seems that learning predictive information over time even changes the geometric. Some scientists also are using artificial neural networks to mimic these interactions between different regions in order to study and understand these specific phenomena. As we already know, science does move slowly because we need to be extremely rigorous, but this was an amazing baby step that adds more to the body of knowledge.